Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Here
a
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, kick dig back here. And welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast with your man 501 Joey Shakes. Joey, what's happening, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Just chilling. We're down. We had a week of we ever had our first preseason game already. A lot to discuss regarding this roster. A lot to discuss. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. What is going on, everybody? Chat. Jules is here. Thank you for being here. Texas boy's here. Probably thinking his Cowboys are something good. MJ's here. Cosmo Kramer's here. What's up, Cosmo Kramer? It's been a while. Kyle, Jersey Dolphins, another one. It's been a while. J-Dog, what's going on? James, Hector, what's happening, Hector? Anybody that I missed, I apologize. Donnie's here. Punjab's here. Let's see. Daz is here. I know a bunch of you guys are pouring in. Greg Miller, Jonas. Thank you guys so much. Man, dude, a lot has happened. A lot has happened since our last shakedown. Let me ask, what are your opinions today on the safety that the Eagles signed? Because I got some opinions and they're probably not too good.
Yeah, a 5th round pick in 21. I just forgot his name. I mean, we both just woke up today.
It's Caden Stearns.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
5th round pick in 20. 5th round pick in 21. I think only played like 5 games in 2 years. I mean, I think he's very a rangy safety. He's a little bit of a ball hawk. Could move around pretty good around the field. I mean, Vic Fangio was with the Denver Broncos when they drafted him. Christian Parker, the cornerback coach, was there as well. This was the safety not named Justin Simmons. So we didn't. I guess they have no interest. They're good with what they have when it comes to the starters. And, defense needs a lot of work. I mean, there's not really much about that except they got depth. That's really it. I mean, why not Tristan McCollum? Why not? I don't know. I felt like he did good on both sides,
Well, the thing was weird about this kid is he has a major knee injury. Then he's cut. He's waived by the Broncos, picked up by the Panthers, and then fails the physical. Then we pick him up. Like, can we just go get Justin Simmons and be done with it? You know what I mean? Like, let's stop playing games here. I did a video the other day, and it was called the something to the effect of the Quinyon Mitchell dilemma, because I see a dilemma arising from him being so damn good. And the dilemma is this. In order to get him on the field, the Eagles are moving him into the slot. He has already overtaken Avonte Maddox as your slot corner. So now you have Cooper DeJean coming back. Okay, so 1, what are you going to do with Cooper DeJean? And 2, what if Quinyon Mitchell is lights out in the slot? What if he is like one of the best slot corners instantly in the league? Are the Eagles going to do what they did with Landon Dickerson and say, you know what, we can't move this guy on the outside, and then all of a sudden we're still in need of another outside corner down the road? I hope that they're very strict about the fact that he could play slot corner this year, but he's got to go on the outside, because I want him on the outside.
Yeah, because, you don't know if you're going to have Isaiah Rodgers next year. You don't know if he's going to, be here after this year. So Quinyon's play inside, outside, and I think he's played good at both, but nickel just seems like he's been the prime candidate. Avonte Maddox has played nickel. He has went to safety. At this point, it's like Is he playing good? Can his body hold up? I mean, he hasn't been injured yet, but still,
He's still
like,
got two big ass toes, so just give
yeah,
it time.
I think down the road, I mean, DeJean coming back is going to be interesting because he's out. I mean, it seems like he did some conditioning today. I really didn't want him to miss this week. I really
think after
didn't.
this, I think he comes back for next. I think he comes back after this game.
It's a bad week to come back on the last preseason game. You missed a lot of valuable time, man. You're missing at least like 3 weeks from training camp. The hammy was 3 weeks. We don't even know when this hammy actually happened. We never got that news. So 3 weeks since really that date would have been like the week of the 11th, which is this week. Really, that's 3 weeks. So never happened. And at least he's moving around, but man, it just sucks right now not having him around.
He's behind. And you know, the only reason I bring this up, and Kyle says Quinyon Mitchell on the rise. The only reason I'm bringing it up, and I'm trying to get caught up on this chat, guys. I'm sorry, but the only reason I bring it up is because he's going to be good. He is going to. You can tell. I can tell you right now, just watching that one series or two series,
and Phil,
he's lights out.
And Philly, nobody, and be honest, a lot of these cornerbacks, even Quinyon Mitchell, hasn't been beaten by 10, 15 yards in training camp.
No.
Like he's been blanketing guys there by a millimeter because of size or just going up for the football. Like, you know, the plays have been made on him, but he's been really good in coverage.
Right. David says, I can't wait to see the offense at work. If we have a top 10 defense, we'll win the Super Bowl. Our defense is set for the next 5 years. And thank you for your support, no doubt. I think you're right. And Terry says, don't play Mitchell because he might be too good. No, I didn't say that. I never said don't play him. I just said that you got to be disciplined about the fact that you have to move him onto the outside. We have done this several times with players, by the way. When we drafted Lane Johnson, people forget Lane was supposed to play right tackle until Peters retired and then go to left tackle. And that didn't happen because he was so good. Landon Dickerson was drafted as a center, and he is at left guard now. My point is that you just have to be disciplined. I think that they should play Quinyon Mitchell in the slot. Okay, I do. But I think that you have to be committed to putting him out on the outside when the time is right. That's all I'm saying.
And necessarily like outside cornerback besides Slay. I mean, I don't know if I saw the best game from Isaiah Rodgers, even the first game, on a couple passes. He did okay. Like this defense, I think we all agree with this defense, it needs work. This is a year where at least Vic held his promise up that he was putting the starters in, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that a lot of the guys got playing time. It's the first game. I don't want to kill them because it's the first game, but it's a lot of new faces. This is another year with another new defensive coordinator. And, you got to play these guys. There's no sitting guys out and being cautious. Like I understand you don't want to overload some of these guys, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Philly 500. Tanner says Philly 500. You don't know Mitchell's going to be good. It's only training camp, preseason, chill, dude. I'm telling you. I know. I already know.
How are people saying?
I know. I know. I know he's going to be good. You can tell sometimes. You just can tell with a guy. He's going to be good. Emmett, thank you for super chat. He goes, we play Ravens week 13, so we didn't show much, I think. Well, you're not going to show much in preseason anyways, but yeah, you're right. iShine says all the cornerbacks have, to be honest, to be what? J-Dog, a member for 1 month. Thank you so much. He goes, yo, what's up, 500? Joey, 5 picks is what I have for Mitchell getting, and can I get a wrench 500, please, and going on the Sports Fury NFC. Well, I haven't talked to those guys. But if, of course, anything that they ever need from me, I'm willing to do. So all they have to do is reach out, and I'll go. I need to talk to Josh anyways. And, yeah, you can have a wrench. I'll be giving them out week 1 during that stream. So if you want one, be there. Dig Bat John, Dave for Super Chat. He goes, our run game is going to be amazing this year. It is. I love the thumbnail, by the way. Steve B. Davis Super Chat goes, I'm worried about the interior defensive line. If Jordan Davis can't live up to his potential, he needs to be more consistent. Yeah, I saw a couple people kind of knocking him. I mean, they played one series.
They got gashed. I went to your stream earlier today of training camp, and I was like, yeah, they got gashed. You know, up the middle, they got gashed a little bit on a couple of those runs. Zach Vaughn as well. You know, we'll see, but.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Dak.
Yeah.
Danny Davis, Super J goes, Dak's all, folks. Yes, sir. The girl under. I don't know.
Just read the.
I can't. It's too funny. Thank you for Super Chat, Joey. I'm working hard down here. Give me some love.
Fucking crazy. People actually went and made a
I
profile.
love our chat. I love it. They're hilarious. But as far as Q, I don't, don't get me wrong. I think he's got to play. I think you play him. Just be committed to put him outside when the time is right. And then I do wonder, like, where does DeJean fit in? Because when DeJean comes back, he's your third corner in the slot, and then you're bringing in safeties with one leg. All right, so this is my point. You're bringing in safeties with one leg. DeJean is going to be your third slot corner. You might as well put him in the safety position when he comes back. Just let him work behind Reed Blankenship and let him learn. And I think, that'll give him time over the course, first 4 or 5 weeks to get caught up and play some safety, dude. I really think that's what they should do.
Yeah, I mean, not even that, though, but, I've heard great things about James Bradbury transitioning to safety right now. Like, how good is he right now with the transition? It seems like, Vic will tell you the truth. Like, if he knows if a player is struggling, he will say that they are struggling in some case, but it seems like he's playing well. But what he's making salary-wise as, a second team or a number 3 safety or whatever the case may be with that, I don't think I've seen enough from that position yet, especially with Chauncey being out now. And obviously I know Reed's going to be fine, but who's really going to fill that spot? God forbid you have injuries there. I think the depth is really bad. And I think DeJean should probably go to that spot. We don't know what they were going to do with Dean. We don't know that Cooper DeJean we don't know what they were going to do with him. It was really inside between OTAs, minicamp, and then that was it. So
yeah. No, it's true. Privacy. If you think Mitchell's not going to be good, fine, but he's going against 2 of the top 10 wide receivers in the league, so sooner or later he's going to be elite corner. That's the thing. I mean, these guys going up against A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith every day. They're going to get to games and be like, this is who we got to play against. All right, we're good. We're good. And speaking of corners, I think the best corner was Kylie Ringo. I thought Ringo was fantastic. I thought he was really, really good. He's still not starting or getting starting reps, at practice. But I thought he was tremendous, man. What were your thoughts on him?
No, I thought he was great. I mean, he had that because they're playing off ball a little bit. So obviously I think there was like that short pass he gave up, but nothing crazy. He kept his head down and had that deflection in the end zone and had that contested catch deflection. So I thought he did really, really good. It's a shame that Slay is still here because, man, I feel like he's ready. I really do.
You think? See, I think they need to keep Slay one more year.
No. I'm perfectly fine with keeping Slay. I really have had no problem with keeping Slay because I know he was gonna really, he's a detriment to the younger guys and teaching them. So I'm not against that at all. So I mean, it's just the youth movement is great. The depth is really good right now at corner, and a lot to be excited about. Totally
right.
So
Sandeep, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, give my client a raise, Joey. Give his client a raise. The pimp is here. Pimp data. Kirk says, God bless you and your family. 500. Hope your family doing well. Thank you, Kirk, and God bless you and your family as well, man. Thank you so much. What do you and Joey think about the new signing? What do you think?
It's just depth. Like, he might not even make the team. The comment I saw on Twitter was, "Oh, didn't this guy just go to Carolina and he failed his physical?" That was the comment that I seen I totally forgot because I read that. I'm like, wait, they got somebody that failed a physical. So how injured is this guy? I don't know.
I don't know either. But he failed the physical with them. And I don't think he's going to make this team. I'm just be honest.
No.
But what did you think of Vic Fangio's statements at the press conference today that he thought Bradbury was really good at safety. I didn't barely see Bradbury on the field. I think he's just trying to build up his trade value, dude.
I'm kind of done. Like after like a week of training camp, like I'm kind of like, I don't mind watching training camp, but I feel like I just need to see these guys like in real game time now. Like this, it's like the moment now where you're facing your own guys nonstop. I know like iron sharpens iron. You get better that way. I get it. But when it comes to the joint practices we'll be doing on Tuesday and obviously the game on Thursday with the Patriots, and I think there's more value in that. The only issue I have going into this week is we know that Nick really values these open he values these joint practices a lot. They're good for corners. They're good for receivers. They're not necessarily good for quarterbacks because they're not getting hit. It's not a game-like situation. You know, defensive linemen can come through the line, get a sack, and just be like, sack, and then the quarterbacks are still going to throw the ball regardless. Like, they're still going to let these quarterbacks play. But I don't know, man. I haven't seen enough yet, at least with the naked eye. You know, if he could do it, that's great. If he could do it, we had this guy out the door by now. Like he should have been out the door, traded. But he's not playing corner. Like remember, Bradbury said he was all. It's not like I'm not going to be playing corner anymore. He hasn't been back to corner one time. He saw that Isaiah Rodgers was coming. He saw the Eagles draft two guys in the secondary, and he already knew. And he went up to the front office and said, "Hey, I want to switch positions. Let me switch positions. Try to learn something else," because he knew he had no shot. He didn't play good last year. A lot of players didn't play good last year. So I need to see more, dude. It's not enough for me.
No, I hear you. 125, thank you so much for the super chat. He goes, hey, have you heard Roseman is making calls for a wide receiver? I would love Mechie. What about you two? Which wide receiver do you want Howie to trade for? Well, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely talk about the receivers, but, a little bit about it is.
There was news that came out, yeah.
I thought Covey, I thought he was the best receiver on the field. And I think he could play the slot. I do worry about his size. He just looks so damn small out there. I would try to get Mechie. I would make a play for him if I was the Eagles. Because I think you might need another receiver. I'm not saying it won't work out with those guys, but it's something that you might need.
Yeah, there was rumors on Yahoo Sports had a connection for the Eagles and Alan Lazard from the Jets, which I don't know if that even makes sense at this point because he just got to the Jets last year and Aaron Rodgers handpicked him, to come to New York and play with him. So I don't know if that would make too much sense. I know everyone's gonna hate this. I'm not saying I want this. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't get pissy at me, but Juju Smith-Schuster got released from the Patriots.
I want nothing to do with him.
No, that TikTok diva, I want nothing to do with that guy. I mean, look. The only way I connect that with Juju is only because the Eagles, remember the Eagles, there was a rumor that they gave him this big contract in 2021.
Thank God
he rejected it. Yeah, thank God is right.
Yeah.
Ian,
David Super goes, Roger or Ringo? It depends in what you're asking. I would say that if I was basing it just upon the preseason game, I would go Ringo because I thought Ringo was really good. If I'm basing it upon the totality of training camp so far, I'd have to go Rodgers because I think Rodgers has been really good,
Yeah, he's got 3 years in the league more than he's got more years than everybody else, pretty much.
Yeah, Antonio says a 500. Were you impressed with Nolan Smith sack in the third quarter with 2 minutes to go? He dominated the third stringers because first half he was not impressive at all. He was not good in the first half. Well, he was quiet in the first half. Let's put it that way. But I was impressed with the fact that he showed up. And it wasn't just that sack though. He made a great play on a run. He made another play. He made like 3 plays in a row. Yeah, third string players, I get it. But, man, at least he showed us something. Like, at least we got a sign of life. Now, is that going to be good enough going forward? No. But I needed this. I wanted to see something from him, you know?
Yeah, it didn't really wow me too much with him. Even with that sack, it was kind of like, like he barely even passed the guy on the edge. I don't know. I feel like I need to see more from him. There's a lot of guys that need more reps.
He needs reps. The girl under Joey shakes desk. They were super J goes, I was married until I saw Joey, then bam! I was divorced.
All right.
I'm trying to catch up to the chat, by the way. Best beatboxer alive, David Super J goes, looks like Jalix Hunt is going to be a problem. Oh, yeah.
Yo.
He was really, really good.
Dude.
He was really good. But before we get about him, let me ask you about the linebackers. I thought Zach Bourne was not very good.
I agree.
Not very good at all. I thought every other linebacker was actually pretty good, except for him.
I thought Trotter Jr. and Dean played better than Devin White. And look, that Devin White had limited snap count. Zach Baun had limited snap count. I hope this isn't fool's gold with Zach Baun. I feel like this is another keep Nate Gary at linebacker situation just because I want to, and I really hope that it doesn't go into that because, I mean, Trotter Jr. was just, 6 tackles and a sack. I mean, he was productive.
He belongs. He just belongs. I think so highly of Trotter. I've been saying I believe he's going to end up starting at some point, and I'll stick with that. You know, I thought he was really good. Devin White didn't bother me. I mean, he didn't play long enough.
No,
but we're watching the game. I was streaming, and Daz, shout out to Daz, is in here. It's like Baun. Look at Baun. So I started watching Baun. I was like, oh my god, he didn't look good at all. I thought Nakobe Dean played well, and it was nice to see him. But it seems like it didn't matter because Fangio at his press conference today was just like, yeah, Baun didn't play great, but he's done everything else great. So it looks like that's what we're going to be dealing with going in.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know what to expect there. But I was encouraged with Trotter, of course, Nakobe Dean, Ben Van Summeren. I thought played well. So I thought the linebackers, except for Baun, played really good.
Yeah.
And then it takes us to kind of the edge rushers and stuff. And if you look, Bryce Huff, non-existent, dude. I barely noticed he was even on the field. Nolan Smith came out in the second half and made some plays. Yeah, you can, I guess, say it was third stringers, but man, at least he's supposed to. If he's so good, supposed to be good, he should dominate them, and he did. And then Jalix Hunt. We have said, I said, I have a feeling this kid is a star. There's something about him. He is way ahead of where I thought. Like, I thought he was a developmental player this year. No, he's got to play. You got to rotate him in.
I did a whole tape thing on him the other day. Like, he made and watching some of the videos that did come out. We have to look at the little things, guys, not all the flashy crap that happens in preseason with these big superstars that rise up to the occasion in these preseason games. Jalix Hunt, I mean, at 6'3", 6'4", 252, that man can move. Just remember, guys, he came from a small school, Houston Christian, transitioned from a safety to an edge rusher and to off ball as well. I can see why like Reddick didn't fit here in pass coverage. You have a guy like that covered a wheel route from a running back that went pretty much right sideline that caused he had some coverage. We had a couple coverage sacks in this game. But if you're in the right place at the right time, the quarterback doesn't go your direction. That the guy changes direction really good. He's got really good speed, man. That guy gets to the right spot, the right time. He's smart. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen too much of him on the edge, just going after the quarterback. But from a coverage standpoint, he looks really good, like really good.
Really good. He's gonna be a problem. I was very encouraged by him. Bubba said this: why are we not giving Vic shit on him playing Mitchell in the slot and not in his natural position like we did Desai when he was playing Trashberry in the slot last year? Put the kid outside. Well, there's a big difference. One, you're talking about the first preseason game, and two, what they're telling us is if they don't put him in the slot, he ain't getting on the field. they're telling you that Ringo and Rodgers they view as like more ready than Quinyon Mitchell right now. I mean, that's the truth. And where are they going to play? If you think Ringo and Rodgers are ahead of him, are you gonna not play them? So to me, I look at it like they're trying to find a way to get Mitchell on the field more than anything. That's how I see it. I hope that means, and that's a sign of strength and not weakness.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is that there's nobody else that can play nickel right now. I don't think Tyler Hall's had a good camp. Avonte Maddox has played on the inside, but I don't think he's done much of anything. Like from what we've seen from a standpoint of competition, we saw. I mean, look what Quinyon Mitchell's done against top talent, against AJ Brown, look at today's camp against Devontae Smith on 3 reps, and he got him on 2 reps there. I mean, he's getting good work. So if it's anything but a strength, it's a strength to have him on the inside, and then for a guy to make. To play both inside, outside, inside, he'll be ready and capable by next year. I'm hoping. We'll see what happens with Isaiah Rodgers down the road, but who knows?
I think what the Eagles are saying, or at least Vic Fangio is saying, is you've got 2 choices. One, you could keep him as the outside corner, but he's not going to see the field because I got 2 guys ahead of him, or I can move him in the slot and he could get on the field quicker. I mean, that's how I see him looking at it. Bradbury going in the slot last year was like they were trying to solve a problem in the slot, but they were also trying to get Bradbury going because he was a liability on the outside. I think it's a little bit different.
But you lost 2 nickels last year. You lost what's his face last year. You lost Maddox, and then you lost what's his face from Texas Tech. I always forget his name. So you lost 2 nickels. So you can't rotate inside corners. You just can't. They did that. Eli Ricks can't play on the inside. Keely Ringo can't play on the inside. It's like they have depth at corner, but at nickel they don't have that much depth. They really don't. And we thought maybe they did a little bit with Tyler Hall coming in, but you start to find out once the pads come on, once you start getting these preseason games, you start to find out Zach McPherson. Sorry, thank you. So we need to be right, and we don't have depth at nickel either. I don't even think I'm not really seeing it too much. So
I think we do now, but I don't know. I mean, listen,
we'll see.
It's a problem. It's a problem if it's like if we go into next year and he's still in the inside. I think it's a problem. Then I think it's a problem. Hey, brother, practice say Q was playing. Yeah, Q had a great day against Devontae Smith. I think Quinyon's doing a great job. Damon says, Philly, I said it a while ago, we should have Blankenship bulk up and play at middle linebacker. He'd have to gain a lot of weight, though. He needs like 50 pounds on him. But I do know what you're saying because I don't think he's great in coverage. Eagles Army down under Davis Super Chat. He goes, hey, fellas, we'll bet US take my $100 bet Carter to get into a fight in the Patriots practice because I'll make it. That's a great bet. I'm going to look into it. And you know what? I might make that bet too if they do. I'll let you know. Thank you so much. Sister now says Zach Bourne or Nate Gary. I'll still go with Bourne. I'll still go with Bourne. I thought it was really I thought when Fangio said that he was happy with what he saw from Bradbury. I think he was trying to build up his trade value, dude. I think they're going to trade him. But I don't like Bradbury at safety, Joey. I don't like Avonte Maddox at safety either. I don't like.
I think they're just trying. Maddox has done it in the past. They're just taking guys that have played the position. You have some hybrid guys that can play multiple positions, but do they play them? Both of them well. I don't know. So
yeah. Michael says, "What's up, fellas? LB did some film study on Friday night, and I noticed something. Bradbury actually was in good position at safety on a few plays. I really think he could cover well at safety, not corner. He might be. He might convert into a safety. It's possible. But, man, as a backup making the amount of money he's making, do you keep him there? You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see. Now, as far as the offense goes, I mean, here's the one thing. Going into this game, you clearly know that the offense is ahead of the defense. The fact that they didn't play their starters and the defense played, I think that was very telling. But, the one thing that I noticed about the offense right off the bat is their offensive line is really good and really deep. I mean, their second string offensive linemen were destroying the Ravens.
Yeah, even like Brett Toth, like Dylan McMahon, and Trevor Keegan played well. I thought a lot of guys played well. Mekhi Becton looked real solid.
Mekhi Becton
he looks good,
dude. He's the starting right guard. It's done. And then did you see today he was throwing up at practice? I love this guy. I like Becton. I don't know, man.
Toughness.
I think he's going to play that right guard position, and he's going to be really good. But I think the offensive line is really good, and the pleasant surprise, and the guy that shocked me the most was Will Shipley. I did not expect what we saw from Will Shipley.
Okay.
I was surprised.
He's good. Your boy ran the ball really good, though.
I know.
Your boy. You know who your boy is,
I know you're talking about Kenneth Gainwell, right?
Yeah.
I don't. That's Kenneth Gainwell. That's not Kenneth Gainwell. That's somebody else. Because I don't know who this guy is.
I honestly,
he's looking good too.
I didn't go into preseason thinking that I was going to see I don't really go by if we win or lose. I didn't care. I don't really care if we win or lose preseason games. This is obviously just for, analyzing players. But we won that game mostly because of that run game we had. I liked Nichols a lot. Kendall Milton, a north and south runner, just pushing bodies, pushing piles. And I have to say, dude, Will Shipley got that dual threat capability, is just really good on the pass. The touchdown that he had, even the couple runs he had to the inside, I like him a lot, man. I really do.
Yeah. I was really pleasantly surprised. I kind of, in a weird way, I expected what we saw out of Trotter. I expected that. I didn't expect Will Shipley to look the way he did. I mean, okay, it's preseason, I get it. But the whole running back group, partly because the offensive line is so good, but also, I mean, I feel so much better about that whole group because I think Painwell looks good, Shipley looks good. Then you had Nichols came in, he looked good. Price looked good,
yeah.
And then Milton. I mean, they all looked very capable. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with our running backs across the board.
Yeah, they did good. I had nothing to complain about the running backs. And your offensive line, like we just talked about, it goes a long way. It's you could plug in guys in the backfield and get these big chunk yards, and I thought they all really did well. So it was nice to see all the running. How many running backs are they going to keep? How many going to keep on practice squad? Can they actually keep 4 running backs this year? That's the question. Will they actually do that?
They'll probably keep, my guess is 3 active roster, 2 practice squad. That's what my guess is.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Charles says, Philly, my wife says I look like you, man. We are from South Dakota, repping the birds. Can't wait for the streams this year, dude. She was jokingly, I had another identity I had to see for myself. Look at her. He looks just like me.
Is that you or no?
That's him.
Holy
that's
shit.
Not me. That's him.
Scary.
He looks like Denzel Washington. Thank you, man. Dylan McMahon and Keegan are studs. Absolutely. That Keegan, dude, I don't know how you're going to keep him. That offensive line is deep across the board. I mean, I think they're going to be really good this year. And the running backs, like I said, they were I was very happy with what I saw. I'll tell you where I wasn't happy position-wise. The tight end position is not good. If you got Goddard, I think Calcaterra is good. But I thought every other one of those tight ends stunk. You could cut them all.
That Folch guy made some plays. That new guy they brought on.
Catch.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's bad. And guess who's hurt? It's Calcaterra.
I know. One game.
The guy's already
one
hurt
preseason
already.
Game. It's like Maddox and his big ass toe. I don't know if Calcaterra can make it without a concussion. I mean, I don't say that. I'm not saying that being mean, but
no.
The guy did retire from college football. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
that reason.
Yeah. He left.
I thought the tight ends were a disappointment. I did. I mean, Calcaterra can play, but I mean, those other guys stunk, and Kenny Pickett stunk.
Yeah, and
Dude,
it's
he stunk.
and it's just I didn't like, you're hoping that Dallas Goedert can play a full season, not miss 4 to 6 games. But yeah, I thought Tanner McKee was the better quarterback. I figured, now it's weird in preseason because even say the play where Pickett threw that 50-50 ball to John Ross on the right side all the way downfield in that deep pass, is that a play where they're just giving John Ross the look, or is he really going through his progressions? Because I thought Tanner McKee was a lot better. I thought the receiver should have did a lot better for him. I just don't think, I thought the ball was in a lot of great spots, but I just don't think from the wide receiver standpoint, they did enough for him. I think he went through his progressions a lot better. And, I think McKee took a little bit of a step over, just a little bit of a step over Pickett. So
I do too. I would like to see, I'd like to see McKee be the number 2 quarterback this week. And I'd like to see him have Covey and those guys and see how he does, And like I said, I thought Brent Covey to me is your number 3 wide receiver. I think the guy gets open. He's very fast. He really does have that Cole Beasley feel to him. He's just a little small. That's the only thing I worry about with him.
Yeah, he's definitely smaller than Cole Beasley. There's no doubt. So I don't know. I think we'll go into the receivers. I know that. I think they could use multiple if they don't go after somebody. And this is, with Paris Campbell still being out with this groin injury, which is a whole nother thing. He's been the best receiver at camp, but now he's hurt, and now we don't know what he looks like going into a game now. So
he's always hurt too. He's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Always hurt. Always.
Yeah.
I thought Covey was good. I was really, when I first watched the game, based upon some blocking, and I guess the first catch he made, I said, "Oh, Johnny Wilson's having a good night." When I went back and rewatched it, it was more like, what I need to see him get open and get separation, because I didn't see it, and they didn't throw to him, but it didn't look like he was getting open at all, running his routes, and that's a concern to me, And then they got down in the red zone, and they didn't throw it up to him once. I mean. So I'm a little bit worried about Johnny Wilson. I like him. I like what he's shown so far, but I need to see if he can get separation. Covey, I know he can. I know Covey can play.
The one play from Johnny Wilson, I thought the 2 plays, the one where he did have the slant pass completed. There was another one where you had Covey and Johnny Wilson on the left side. They both did a slant, and that's the pass that Kenny Pickett threw to John Ross all the way downfield. I think that was the big pass that ended up going nowhere. And if you watch that tape, both of them, Covey and Johnny Wilson had separation on that play. And plus, obviously, Johnny Wilson against Nate Wiggins, there should have been a PI call or 2 on that right side. I don't know.
Well, the first one, yeah.
The first one, at least. I mean, they let that go. I think Nate Wiggins just totally was hanging on.
But he had he had the ball go through his hands.
Yeah.
It was a slant. It was a little high. But you're 6'7", you got to make that catch.
That's what I'm saying, though. So you go into when we practice against each other, like today, he got a big catch over Quinyon Mitchell today. So I mean, he's making these catches. The problem is, when it comes to these big moments during these games where everything's on the line, I think he is going to get better. But I got to say, his blocking is very, very. Look at the tape of all of his blocking, what he did in that game. Fantastic, aggressive. I mean, that's what's going to put him far as that blocking.
I don't want to go back to the umbrella man, though. You know what I mean? We got to keep him on the roster. He's a good blocker.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
But he's not a second round pick, Philly. That's what I'm saying.
No, he's not.
What I mean?
But I mean, the plan going into that preseason game was you're going to use Johnny Wilson a lot this year, and you still might. And I'm not crapping on him. I'm not at all. All I'm trying to say is that, going forward, I want to see him between the 20s. I want to see if he can get separation. I know he can go up and get the one-on-one ball. I know he can do that. But I want to see him I want to see who else can get open, because it wasn't just him. If you take every receiver after him stunk. Who was good? Nagata stunk. Anaya Smith. I feel like shit. I feel like shit talking about him, because I really was high on him. He looks like he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know if he's thinking too much. I mean, it looks like he's running in quicksand. Even like the kick return that he had, or the punt return, I forgot which one, and he runs to the left sideline. He tries to jump over a bunch of guys, doesn't even protect the ball with both his hands, fumbles the ball out of bounds on special teams. He looks really bad. I mean, there was some news coming out of Giants Hard Knocks that the Giants were going to draft him too. They didn't draft him because apparently there was injury concerns with him or something like that. So I don't know if he's dealing with something right now, but wide receiver 3. I don't get how they just don't get this position right. And I honestly think with Olamide Zaccheaus probably had the better chance to actually be something in this offense, and they just never gave him the opportunity. And Quez Watkins really couldn't show up for those big moments for us. You saw Quez Watkins did on punt returns with the Steelers. Holy shit, he did horrible, by the way. So like with Paris Campbell being out, it sucks, man. Like we don't still out with a groin injury. This is a lingering thing now, missing now joint practices, a second game of preseason. It's running really thin. Thin.
Big John says Cole Beasley's 5'8", 174. Covey's 5'8", 172. They're basically the same. Holy crap. Are you serious?
Know that. I didn't know that.
Wow. That's surprising, because when I look at Beasley looks bigger than, and I don't mean like tall. He just looks like a little
big.
bigger built than him. And he's not huge, but big. Not like a more.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have no doubt if Covey can take the punishment, he could be a very, very good number 3 wide receiver. And I don't know, maybe Paris Campbell will come in and be good. And I made a mistake. John Ross, I thought actually was decent. I thought John Ross actually did good.
The one problem I have with Ross, he's not attacking the football hard enough. That's like the only. He's letting the ball come to him. He's not attacking. There was a pass where he could have moved up a little bit with his feet to go get it, with some of his footwork. But he needs to attack the ball just a little bit better, not let everything come towards him. Pause. But So I thought he looked solid. But did anybody really wow you at receiver? Like, whoa. Like it just didn't.
No, I kind of was a little wowed by Covey. I just look at him and I go, man, I know if he can take the punishment, take the hits, you could put him at that slot receiver with AJ and Devontae on the field. He's going to be very effective.
Yeah, set him up on pre-snap motion. Set him up where you're throwing the ball to him in open space and maybe dealing with a one-on-one matchup in open space. Like don't throw a suicide pass to him and get him killed. You know what I mean? Like Devontae Smith on the going out for blocks with the screen pass or shit like that. I
mean, he fights for extra space. I'm afraid he's going to take a hit by a 250-pound linebacker, and we're not going to see him for a week.
I know.
But if he could play, I know he can play. Now, maybe you want to add another receiver as some depth. I would not mind that. And then the Campbell groin thing bothers me.
Yeah, it's just out. Yeah.
Thank you, Tanner. That was Bam Bam. That's not Bam Bam. That's the old name. That's Van Dam. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Ross relies on speed too heavily. Well, that's what he's got. I mean, what I don't understand is the one play you have him going down the sideline. Where the hell was Pickett throwing the ball?
Yeah, he
the
was
guy
bad.
runs a 4-foot, throw it over his shoulder.
Philly,
run to it.
This is why I really wanted to see the starters play in this game, especially using these new pieces at wide receiver 3, because I understand you want to see who sticks out like a sore thumb, and makes these big plays. Like if we had AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon, the offensive, I'm not saying everybody had to play, at least Jalen Hurts at quarterback, see what Johnny Wilson looks like in the slot, see what Covey looks like in the slot. It would make it look a lot better. Like, are they getting a fair shot when the starters aren't playing? To say, what would look like with all the attention around with some of the other guys, what it would look like. So I understand why Nick kept him out because of the weather, and I get it. I thought some of the guys, not everybody, should have had at least a series or something like that, but we'll see.
Yeah. What's up, Logan Motorsports? Philly's saying a big dude that could take punishment the same sense. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Bryce says, will be interesting, the cuts. It will be interesting. Now, I would say this. Right now, I think Covey is your slot wide receiver. That's where I'm
right
going,
now.
He's going to be good. I'm telling you right now, he will give you Cole Beasley like numbers. If they throw him the ball out. I mean, Cole Beasley under Kellen Moore was really good. So I think that's going to be very interesting. Now, what are your thoughts on the fact that they didn't have a pass over 11 yards? Like, do you think we're going to be doing check down city, or do you think that's just something that they're working on in preseason, which I think they need to do more of that than they did last year. But of course, you don't want to go to the opposite extreme.
No, I mean, how many times we throw downfield, like 70-yard passes downfield? Like, I'm not really worried about I'm not really worried about the deep ball so much. Of course, you want to showcase it. I understand you want to show all your cards in preseason, so I get it. But we need short passes. We need short passes to these receivers and tight ends in open space. Let the receivers work for their yards, for those big chunk yards. I think we haven't had enough of that. We didn't check down that much last year. We need to start checking down. We need to start going through our progressions and looking like a normal offense. I think we were perfectly fine from what they showed. Like, I know, like, you see like JJ McCarthy throwing these deep passes and it's exciting. I get it. It's all exciting in that aspect. But what we really need to work on is the short yardage play, slants, crossers, hot routes. I mean, when we run slants, I get jumpy. I get excited because we didn't use middle of the field. The cover zero blitz killed us, and we never adjusted. Nick Sirianni never adjusted to that. So seeing the short pass game, I'm fine with it because we really need it. We really need to use it. So
yeah, exactly.
That's where I'm at.
Texas Boys at 500. I heard you're going to live stream week 1 game at Diddy Party. Yeah, well, of course. I mean, you're the guest speaker. What do you expect? I'm not going to miss you being the guest of honor. You're sitting right next to him, I heard. Big John says, do the Eagles have the most white guys vying for a starting spot? I have no idea.
Who thinks about this shit?
I don't know.
Honestly.
That never crossed my mind. But if I had to guess, I would always say New England. But that's just me.
Probably,
Frankie, David Super Chat goes, where are they putting DeJean if Slay and Rogers are the corners of Mitchell and Nicole? Yeah, that's what we were talking about that earlier, Frank. I think if you keep him in the slot, you're talking about being the third on the depth chart. I think they got to give him reps as safety. And the fact that they bring in this kid from Denver that may not even be healthy, I think that's an indication that they're going to give DeJean some work at safety.
Hopefully. That's what we're hoping. Yeah.
500. Who's your top favorite Eagle of all time? Mine is Brandon Graham, Hurts, Kelsey, Dawkins, Foles. That's interesting. Mine's Reggie White, Randall Cunningham, Brian Dawkins, Eric Allen, Jerome Brown would probably be my top 5.
By the way, though, Nick Foles retiring. Finally the legend is going to rest finally, and good for him, man. Good for him.
Yeah, definitely. Nick, did you watch Carson Wentz in the Kansas City game by chance?
No, I didn't. It was horrible. Yeah.
He was doing Carson stuff. I mean, he's still got a cannon, though. My God.
Yeah, he's got an arm. Yeah.
He may turn his career around, though. I was having this thought. What if this, everything that happened to him with Nick Foles, what if it turns around and now something happens, God forbid, I hope it doesn't, but something happens to Mahomes and then he has to take them to the Super Bowl?
He ain't not doing that.
No. Do you think the Eagles win? And I was talking about this in my stream this morning. Do you think the Eagles win if Foles doesn't play in the Super Bowl and Carson was healthy?
No, that's a hard one to answer. I mean, because really, what you had with Carson was that mobility, extending plays, and with that cannon that he has. That's a hard one, man. You can't even really answer that. I'm going to say probably. I don't know. I'm going to say probably not because things would have to change dramatically going down the road. But we were on a roll though. They could have. I don't know. I can't really even say, to be honest with you, because things different. All these different things happen for a reason. So,
Yeah. Big Christmas McNabb gets no love. I love McNabb. I just, not my top 5, 6. Now let me ask you this. All right, they're practicing Tuesday joint practice. I will apply for that, by the way. But this is the chance for the Eagles because I think you could go add another wide receiver, but I think you have to consider adding an edge rusher. I mean, we talked about Nolan Smith and we talked about Huff. Huff non-existent. Like, I worry about that edge rusher spot a lot. I think you need to talk to the Patriots about Matt Judon. I think there needs to be some stuff laid down for that.
Yeah, for me, it's lackluster. Like, this defensive line is not as deep as everyone says it is. This is the first year we're kind of saying that. Like, I think DT is going to work out pretty well. Like, I think Milton is going to do well behind, obviously, Jordan Davis. I don't know who really the backup nose is as of right now for Jordan Davis. Jalen Carter should be good. Milton Williams should be good. Ojomo's making a big push to really make some noise this year because he flashed at the end of the year last year. But edge rusher, like, I feel like there's way too many fits for pass coverage. I feel like they don't have enough as an actual edge rusher going after the quarterback.
Yeah.
I know Yank Ngakwe, did he sign? I don't know if he signed, actually.
I don't think
sign with nobody?
Signed. No, not that I know of. I don't think he signed.
Yeah, it's not enough for me. Like Nolan Smith, I don't like these late sacks in preseason games. For me, I don't know.
I have no problem with the way Nolan Smith played. Like, I think Nolan Smith showed something that I'll take it.
No, I get it.
But Huff has not only been non-existent in that preseason game, but we've heard nothing from him during camp. So, that's what I worry about.
Dude, he comes to Philadelphia, and then Fangio says that, like, with more snaps, like, is he a 3-down type guy that can handle the reps? He's like, he's not there yet. It's like, dude, you just paid him $17 million a year, and he's not, and he doesn't have maybe the potential to have a bigger motor. Really, he was a heavy rotational guy with the Jets, 43% of the snaps. A 3rd down edge rusher, that played really well on 1 10-sack season. And I don't know how good he is in coverage. I mean, he almost had a pick on Jalen Hurts in the open practice to the public. That was really the only time I've seen him play well. I haven't seen much film on him from this game because he barely had any snaps, but it's really lackluster. It's making me a little nervous. Like, I feel like he needs to get more snaps in. Like, I got to see this rush from him because it's just not enough for me. It's not enough.
And I think Fangio, his response to him early in camp was not helping matters. When he's like, yeah, he's not really ready to start, that doesn't help matters. Doesn't make you feel like good about it. Big Chris says, when McNabb got one wide receiver straight to, hey, yeah, McNabb was good. I have no problem with McNabb, but that was just he has my favorite Eagles of all time. We weren't ranking them by like importance or anything. Just my personal favorite. Eagles Army down under David Super Chagos. Texas boy sits on his lap voluntarily. Absolutely. 500. Were you a Donovan McNabb fan? I was. My dad used to call me the biggest McNabb apologist of all time because I defended McNabb at every turn. At every turn. I don't know. I guess people can't. If you could find an old Comcast Philly when it was not before they were NBC, back when it was like Channel 8 in Jersey. I was on that. They interviewed me during the NFC Championship game after the Eagles lost to Tampa because I was at a bar watching it. Right. All I did was defend McNabb. It's on tape. I was a big defender of McNabb, but when McNabb said that he didn't know there were ties in football, I soured on him a little bit. You know, I still think he's still, you know, was a great quarterback. I liked him, but he's just not one of my favorite players. The disciple, thank you for super chat. He goes, Tanner McKee would have had Wilson looking like a problem. If Wilson will dominate the middle of the field because you can't hip drop tackle. If he could get separation, you know, that's the question. I want to see more from Johnny Wilson this week.
Yeah,
you know,
same.
I want to. The girl under Joey's desk says, Joey, I know you like that. Keep talking dirty. Oh my God. And I'm trying to get up to the chat. Bald Eagle, David Super Chat goes, I think Bradbury is going to shock people. Vic is going to push him. Vic saying corners don't transfer to safety is challenging him doing that. It is, but he also gave him a lot of credit, said he played really well. You know, do they want to keep Bradbury at safety, though? Do we really? Is this a real, like, something, or is this just trying to get his value up?
The only issue I have is really the money the really issue is the money he's making. Like, he's probably not going to start. He's not starting over Reed. He's probably, I don't know. He's not starting over Chauncey. So,
no,
like, you're making this money as the second team, as the third, as potentially the third safety. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, from his he's still on a big contract or officially good contract right now. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Bobby, David Super Chat goes, Bednarik, White, Cunningham, Foles, Kelsey, best Eagles. There you go. Those are all great names. And from a popular standpoint, that's probably about right. Let's see. Diaz says they paid Huff all that money to get a quarterback. That's it. He had better find a way. God, I do worry about him. I do. And I hate reliving the whole Reddick situation. I really do. But, you know,
he's still not at training camp. He's still not.
No, he's still not.
What
there.
the fuck is going on with that dude? Like, seriously, is he cosplaying in Japan? Did he not leave Japan yet? What's going on? What the fuck?
No. Cunningham was not overrated. Cunningham was one of the Cunningham was better than McNabb. I'll be honest with you. Cunningham had if Cunningham had Andy Reid as head coach, he would win 3 Super Bowls. Randall Cunningham was so far ahead of his time. It's not even. I love Cunningham. Now, Cunningham's my favorite all-time quarterback. Number 1 favorite all-time. Favorite. Not saying he's ranked that, but he's just my personal favorite.
And here's the thing someone said, too. Like, when you see, like, Bryce Huff, like, was he in coverage? Did he ever go in coverage, drop in coverage for the Jets? Because what I really hope to God they're not doing what Fangio's
not
doing.
Much.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the
Yeah.
problem I'm having, because you're literally paying these guys and you're forcing them into a different scheme and doing things they're not normally going to do. And that's why I feel like the pass rush is just even the first game, the pass rush never really got there too much. I don't know if you're giving these guys time. This is too
no.
You're taking guys out of position.
There was a play where they blitzed Huff and I forget who else came on the edge. And that was about all I saw of Huff, to be quite honest with you. I mean, listen, maybe when we get to the game, he'll go out there and he'll kill it. I don't know, but until we see it, we're just not going to know. All I'm saying is you got joint practice on Tuesday with the Patriots. Go lay the track work down so that in case you need another edge rusher come trade deadline, Matt Judon's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do you think? I love Trotter. You know, I've been saying Trotter when he gets the start. Once he starts, he's never giving up that job. And Trotter, he actually, you know, it was great. He played better probably than I thought he was, but I'm not surprised. He was as good as he was.
Yeah, he really stepped up. Really, since the open practice, he was making plays. He had a sack in the open practice, and really ever since that day, he was really he was getting better every single day. So I'm glad, like, he got a lot of reps.
Yep. David says a good defensive court, and this has been my point for months. Good defensive coordinator schemes the players he has, not forces players outside of their strengths. You definitely don't sign free agent that don't fit your scheme. I agree. It never made sense to me to take a guy that doesn't do something good but does something else good, and you stop him from doing what he does good to make him do what he doesn't do good. It doesn't make any sense to me. Matt Patricia, when he took over, I think Reddick went to like 33 to 35% of dropping back in coverage, 35% of the time, something like that. They were dropping him back a ton. Like, why would you do that? Okay, it doesn't make sense. And do you remember one of the reasons about getting rid of Reddick was Reddick doesn't cover, right? Well, either does Huff. So that couldn't have been why you got rid of Reddick.
No, I mean, they got rid of Reddick because he had a number and the Eagles were going to be dealing with a guy holding out. Obviously, he's still holding out for the Jets. So they were going to deal with this problem. And so they said, you know what, let's just rip the Band-Aid off quick and get him out of Philly. I mean, instead of dealing with this problem all season, knowing that he hasn't went down his price. I'm guessing it's still at $25 million a year. Yeah. I don't know, but this is why they gave him up for nothing. I mean, this is the answer.
People tell me that I'm naive on this one, or I'm just seeing it with my heart. But I truly believe Reddick doesn't get traded. He's not holding out. I do. I believe he's in camp right now. I can't prove it, but to me, you're Reddick. They're trading you to a team that you have no loyalty to. And then you tell the team, yeah, you could trade for me, but I'm going to want a new contract if you do.
Yeah.
And then they still trade for you and don't give it to you. I mean, that's pretty stupid on the Jets' part,
Mm-hmm.
But Reddick is gone. So, it is at the end of the day, it is what it is.
The scheme really has to shine this year, because if it's lackluster throughout the entire year, I don't even know if I want to keep it in the building anymore. Yeah. Like I think I'm like done with this whole thing now.
Yeah. Dylan says he 100% would have held. You might be right. You might be right, but I believe for some reason I feel like it would have been, he would have played it out.
I think the dialed up blitzes from Fangio were great. I think, he's done a corner blitz. You blitz two guys, keep Devin White in the back to kind of clean everything up. Like I liked how they were blitzing in the first preseason game. And he did it a lot.
They're going to blitz more. I love it.
That's good.
I think it's good. That's great. It's great. We're going to see. I mean, there's a lot we don't know.
Still up in the air. Yeah.
We just don't know. I just say you're going to New England. Lay down the tracks so that if you need a Matt Judon later on in the year at the trade deadline, you can get him. If you don't need him,
is he holding out, or is he like
Judon?
Yeah.
No, he's in camp. He's there.
Okay.
He's just I think he's in the last year of his deal. He wants a new deal. He's a little older, and he's playing on a team that I just don't think is going to be very, very good. So this could be an opportunity. And I don't think you should sign him to an extension. Just bring them in for the year,
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I don't think anybody's ever accused the Jets of really being smart. That's true. Isn't it interesting? Like Reddick goes there and there's all this chaos with him. Becton was drafted by them. They were talking about what a bust he is, how horrible. The guy looks like $1 million for us. Dude, he looks good.
Who?
Becton.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
my God.
I don't know what they couldn't do with him. I think health was the main issue, and obviously that he was switching from left tackle to right tackle, and I think it just became more business side than family oriented when it came to that team. I don't know what it was, but that's the biggest right guard we've had in a while. I mean, fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a fun time. So what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the other defensive, like the defensive tackles? Did you have anything like I mean, Jordan Davis, he didn't look great, to be honest with you.
There's not enough snaps.
It was like a couple drives. Yeah. And Jalen Carter didn't look great until he had the deflection. He was starting to just get warmed up. But I thought like a Jomo and those guys. I thought that what's the guy Tuolo? I thought they played pretty good, man.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, defensive tackle. I feel like it's starting to straighten out a little bit with Fletcher Cox's departure and not having him in the rotation anymore. So I feel fine about that. Really, the edge is like my main concern because those are the guys that are going to be, either the right or wrong players going in pass coverage, and if you're not getting any rush on the outside, I mean, I think they're putting more compensation to their secondary. They're trying to use different combinations. I think it was the big run. I think it was the big run by Johnson, I think, for the first down, but Quinyon Mitchell, blitzing from the left side, so they're,
Right.
Fangio's doing different things with the secondary. So he's trying to,
I like it.
He's relying on the athleticism from the secondary, fast break tackles, getting,
Right.
and making plays. So that's what he's really relying on.
Yeah.
So,
and let me tell you, when you get CJ Gardner-Johnson back in there in that secondary and Slay, it'll even that much better,
It's hard to tell, yeah.
Yeah. Squad says Philly and the Jets fans seem under the impression that they will not pay Reddick and he will have to play. They couldn't pay Huff and traded for Reddick, who wanted a much bigger deal than Huff. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole situation's weird because the reports are that Reddick told them, I want a new contract, and they traded for him anyways. I don't know why the Jets would do that if you weren't going to give it to him.
So what happens? Just say this: like, what happens if Reddick doesn't sign a contract with the Jets and he wants out of New York? What happens to a trade or the 26th third round conditional? What happens to that?
I think it stays a third round pick.
It doesn't, because he's not playing.
Because he's not playing,
right?
But apparently the Jets knew he wanted a contract. It wasn't like the Eagles. I in a weird way, I was hoping that the Jets would complain and say that the Eagles misled them and they would void the trade, and so we would get Reddick back. But they knew. So I don't know. Reddick probably. I'm assuming he shows up week 1, because otherwise he doesn't play out his contract. He's still got that year left on his contract. So it wouldn't make sense. He's going to show up at some point, but how effective are you when you miss all of camp? It's the same thing with the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb. All right, so if he misses all of camp, all of preseason, and let's say he shows up week 1 to play, well, how much can you expect him to be impactful the first few weeks? It's
I don't know. As Jerry Jones, if you're saying that there's no urgency to sign your best receiver, then
well, I don't know. I just think that's his way of contract negotiations. But
hurry the hell up, CD. We don't got time for this shit.
That team's a mess, dude. I tried to watch them. I fell asleep watching them today. They stink. They stink. And Pollard, I watched the Tennessee game. Pollard looks great. Pollard looks like Pollard was hurt and then he came back last year. I don't think he was that good. He looks like he's got his burst back. He looked way faster than he did a year ago. I think Dallas is in trouble. I think they're going to stink. I do. Daz says, Becton is way better guard than he is tackle. He gets beat by the speedsters on the outside. They can't get around him at guard. He's also lost weight, right? He lost a bunch of weight too. I think they're going to put him at right guard, and I don't think he's going anywhere for 10 years.
Damn.
I really believe that. Judon is old and small. He's 30. He's 30, and he's a bona fide double-digit sack guy. He would help you out tremendously.
Go to Gangrene David. Good. I don't know if you remember Gangrene David, Jets content creator. He's in here.
Where? Okay.
9:30.
9:30. Okay. Let me read this one first. Coordinators tend not to trust a lot of rookies on defense. Trotter Jr. is instinctive, and they let him stay inside and fill the holes that you. I agree with you. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Loyal to Houston. Davis super chat. My man goes up. Joey and 500. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's up, Loyal?
Let me see. 9:30. 9:30. Well, let me get through the super chats too. The disciple, thank you for super chat. He goes, I made a prediction that Hunt will start over Huff when we picked up Huff. I didn't even know who he was. He's just a dude. Interesting. That would be interesting.
Yeah. I have to give him more time.
Nifty, thank you for super chat. He goes, Nia Smith was awful. He was. He wasn't good. I'm not giving up on him, though. But he definitely, it's moving too fast for him right now. Yo, long way. Thank you for super chat. He goes, how can we pay Milton if he has a big year? I think
they might not.
It's going to be hard. Sign him now. Try to sign him before the season starts, if you can, because I think Milton Williams is going to have a huge year, and I think he's going to want to start somewhere and get big money. I mean, you can see it. It's going to happen. Gangrene David, what's going on, man? He goes, Huff chose to walk on his own. Didn't this also happen to Chris Jones and Nick Bosa? I don't know. Bosa? I don't remember with Bosa. Reddick will be fine, but right now we essentially inherited another team's problem. Yeah, you did. I just don't understand why when he says, I want this or I'm holding out, they went through with it anyways. But yeah, you did inherit a problem.
Appreciate you coming in, man.
Say that again?
No, I was saying I appreciate him coming in.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to you. J. Monty, David Super J goes, could Reddick be on the high-profile player Craig Carton was talking about a while back who was a big problem? Could be. I thought he was referring to Brown, but I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Not sure.
I do know this. I do know this. After the Eagles lost to Tampa, there was a press conference, and they asked Reddick if he was going to hold out next year, and he said no. So he could have changed his mind. I'm not saying he could have, but that's what he said at the time. Let's see here. Justice Simmons wants top market cash. That's why we're not signing him.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Did he sign the contract from when he visited the Saints? Did anything happen after that? Because we haven't heard a damn thing since he left without a contract. Right.
Nothing. Yeah. He left without a contract. To me, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather go get a edge rusher over him.
Yeah, I get it.
I say just put DeJean at safety. Will says, Philly, I take Judon. He's only 31. He has a lot left in the tank. I think New England just isn't good hard to get motivated to go to work when you know your team is bad. Well, I think that's right. And because his age and his contract, they're going to say, when they're not good, they're going to look to trade him at the deadline. And the Eagles can lay the track works now. I don't want to sign Judon to a 5-year deal. I just want to get him in case we need him, if we need another pass rusher because maybe we're not getting the production we thought we were going to get. When the trade deadline comes around, get him. I'm not saying get him now, not in preseason. I'm saying at the trade deadline. It's like they did with the kid from Miami, remember?
Yeah, they're always wait, Jay Ajayi you're talking about?
Yeah, they did. They had one of the reasons they traded for Jay Ajayi at the trade deadline in 2017 was because they had the workouts during training camp where they worked out with the Dolphins and they had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, sometimes those little interactions turn out to be big moves down the line. So you never know, like, if they might pick somebody. You're looking at an older player that's got a lot left in the tank with Matthew Judon. So you could, if he feels like, they want to make a deal and get something done, then that's great. I mean, I totally agree that edge rusher should probably be the number one priority, but you can't just drop every player and I know it's part of it, but we need a pass rush, dude. Like, we really need
it. To have one. Have to have one. I agree, and I believe that it all is going to start with the middle of that line. But those edge rushers need to show up. 63 more says, Leffa, do you have any hope for Blankenship, or you just mean DeJean to back Blankenship? No, I'm talking about backing up Blankenship. I don't think he comes in and starts right away, but I think you put him in as a depth piece because it's depth we're talking about at the safety. I think with Blankenship and CJ Gardner-Johnson, I think that's fine. I think it'll work, but you have no depth there. Now, if he can take over, if he can work his way up and take that spot, I'm okay with that too. But what I'm referring to is more depth. I'm assuming Bradbury's not going to be here. Now, that may be a wrong assumption at this point, but I just have a feeling they're going to move him before the start of the season.
Yeah, I agreed.
So, we'll see. This Judon talk has me even more excited to go to open practice Tuesday. I was not expecting to be monitoring Judon and Howie. That's right. I want pictures. Anybody sees any pictures of Judon talking to Howie Roseman, send them to me. I want to know.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't look at Judon. I don't think that's a move you need to make before week 1. I think you need to see what you have in Huff, see what you have in Nolan Smith. But if you're not getting production from the outside and you get to the deadline, I think that's when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, agreed. They're always active during that time too. So, like every year, they're always active.
Yeah. Let's see, Jado. So, what are your thoughts on Caleb Penix, Jaden Daniels? I think Caleb has a good 15 drives because that's all he played. But who's going to be most successful rookie? Listen, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be good. I really like Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be good, and I think Caleb could very well be good too. I watched Daniels and I watched
Bo Nix
Caleb.
was bad.
I didn't watch the other guys.
Bo Nix didn't play good. Bo Nix didn't play good.
I didn't watch him. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see him. But I thought Daniels, he's good. And Caleb Williams, I mean, he threw a nice screen to DeAndre Swift today.
Swift looks good.
It's like a 60. Why did the Eagles run a screen pass all year with DeAndre Swift? That was there for us all year last year, and they didn't do it. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Michael says, I trust Bradbury in coverage as a safety, just more concerned with his run support. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. We'll see how it pans out. Jane Daniels was the best quarterback. That's my personal belief too. His side has been promised the world. He proves it. He did it repeatedly. He gets the short end of the money stick every year. You're talking about Hassan Reddick. Yeah, I mean Reddick was the first NFL player in history to have double-digit sacks on 3 different teams 3 years in a row. He's had double-digit sacks 4 years in a row. And then we want to take him and put him in pass coverage? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, why do you switch teams so much? Like, Yank Ngakoue is another player that switches teams every single year. Like, what's like the mindset when you're always switching teams constantly? Are you just trying to get? I mean, he came to Philadelphia on a discount. I mean, we knew that was gonna, if he played well, that was gonna turn into maybe this situation we were gonna deal with in the offseason, and it did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. One name that never gets mentioned is Brandon Graham. He may have one less. Oh, Brandon Graham. I mean, I think Brandon Graham's solid. I don't know if Brandon Graham has double-digit sacks in him still, but he'll be solid. But I'll tell you what, Josh Sweat, there should be a lot of pressure on him. He needs to step up.
Yeah, he needs a big year, contract year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo Longway says, I think Ojomo is going to be a beast for us. I agree. I totally agree. So we're an hour and 18 minutes in. I guess, I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we get out of here? It's Sunday night. I know, got things to do, so I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No, I'm good.
But what anything else, man, that we're missing? Or
I mean, I think that's really it. I think like we just need to see more reps, more snaps out of the starters, especially on the defense. Like the offense, I'm not. Besides like wide receiver 3, maybe a little bit of tight end for depth. I mean, I'm not really worried about the offense so much, but wide receiver 3 is probably the main case that we're looking at right now. And then obviously with defense, like it really comes down to when is DeJean coming back, where they're going to put him, and can we garnish a pass rush? Can we see something from Bryce Huff this week? Can we see something from these edge guys and see, because this is a new. Fangio calls it, this is a new scheme. He said that today. It's like, well, it technically isn't, but it is at the same time, because this is a defensive coordinator now that has all the control of this defense now, and we're blitzing a lot more. And, you know, he does things differently when it comes to analytics and how he treats those analytics, his secrets of what's going on. So, you know, there's, like I said, I think starters need to play a little bit longer. I just feel like when there's a limited snap count, they just, you know, they don't get warmed up. I thought, because obviously the first couple plays looked bad, and then I thought they tightened up pretty good after that. So we just need more reps, man. That's what it comes down to.
Right. No, I
you
hear
know,
you.
see what you got.
Yeah, so I did a poll: who should start, Rodgers or Ringo? 55% say Isaiah Rodgers to 45% Ringo.
So it's half and half.
Yeah, and that's what I think it's about. I think the Eagles feel Rodgers is the guy right now too, but it should be an interesting week. The joint practices, you know, Nick puts a lot of stock in that. Will the Eagles starters play this week? I hope so. At least a series, you know, maybe a quarter would be nice, to be honest. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can play. Why can't Hurts?
You know, a lot of guys did. I mean, look at Nate Wiggins. He stayed in the game. He played really good, and like they should have benched him earlier, and he ended up getting hurt.
Eyes early, but yeah, I agree.
He ended up getting hurt.
He looked good. He did. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to get out of here. If you haven't hit the like, make sure you subscribe both channels, link in the description. And I should say, I forgot, but we got brand new merchandise. And I got to add, we're working on the Swole Batman shirt.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting a lot of feedback on that. So definitely check that out. The link is in the description as well. And with that said, we are getting out of here. So you guys have a great night.
Yep.
We will talk to you later. Peace.
Peace out.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off! It's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott! Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! You tried to defend the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Judge, don't take it. Cut it off. It's over.
Fuck.